I have a Christmas gift question for you. What did you give to Jesus this Christmas? Now maybe you're thinking, yikes, I didn't really do anything for Jesus this Christmas, but not to worry. The Magi missed Christmas by weeks. Here they are rolling up to the party. It's already January, so it's not too late for you either. Seriously though, if you and I want to follow Jesus, if we want to love God and have a relationship with him, we can't just be consumers always receiving, especially considering all that God has given us. We need to respond with some kind of generosity in return. But then, of course, comes the question, what can I give to Jesus? What can I offer as a gift to God? Talk about trying to shop for someone who already seems to have everything they need. But not to fear. For this Feast of Epiphany, I have compiled a short gift list for Jesus with some ideas for you, and hopefully one of these might resonate with your heart and give you a path forward. The starting point for this gift list is our gospel today, in which the Magi offer Jesus gifts. And in particular, the gospel says they opened their treasures. And so to begin, we can ask ourselves, what do I treasure? That is, what is important or valuable to you? We all have things in our lives that are important to us, that mean a lot to us. What's a priority in your life? This might be a good starting point for thinking of a good gift for Jesus. You can share with him that part of your life that you treasure most. And there's maybe three basic ways to do that. The first is we can think about our literal treasure. When I hear treasure, I think of the classic image of the pirate's treasure chest full of gold and jewels. Most of us probably don't have that, but we do have possessions that are valuable to us. The most obvious one is literal money. A pirate buries his treasure to come back to it later. But what if you and I were to offer our treasure to Jesus instead? There are many wonderful ways to do this. We can give money to those who are in need, or use our money to purchase things to help those who are less fortunate. Wealthy benefactors would sometimes commission beautiful works of art to honor and praise God. And indeed, the church that we're in was built by the generosity of many people as their gift to the Lord. Of course, money is not the only kind of physical treasure. I think of the classic movie Ferris Bueller and Cameron's dad's red sports car, right? He treasures that, but he also, in a way, buried it, kept it away. Perhaps we have possessions that are special to us, and we should ask, is there a way I can offer them to Jesus? This might require some creativity. I'm not saying you should simply give those things away, but rather that there might be a way to use them in a way that honors and glorifies God. Think, for example, of St. Carlo Acutis, who enjoyed video games and computers. He found a way to offer that treasure as a gift to God in a remarkable way. So there's lots of potential there, but it might require a little bit of creativity and reflection. So treasure is one way. A second way, though, is to give a gift to Jesus that's not a material thing at all, but rather our time. When you think about it, most of us value time very highly. We don't like when people waste our time. We keep very close track of our time. We budget our time. Sometimes people ask us for our time, and we tell them we don't have any to spare. One way to give our time to God is through service, spending time with those who don't have someone to talk to, maybe a phone call to someone, or spending time with the homebound or someone who is lonely. We also spend time with our family. This too can be a gift to God. Another way to offer our time, though, is through prayer. And when it comes to prayer, I think sometimes we think that in order to spend time in prayer, we need to be doing something or saying something to God. But that's not always the case. To simply offer our time to God is itself a form of prayer, and this can be a great gift. Even to, in a sense, waste time with Jesus is a gift and a form of prayer. Think about it. We'll do the same thing with good friends that we have. In seminary, I would sometimes sit at the lunch table for an hour after we finished eating, just talking and listening with my classmates. We often weren't accomplishing anything in particular. We were just spending time together. Time is a gift that friends share with one another, and so that can be a gift that we share with the Lord. Of course, with prayer, sometimes I think we can get frustrated or discouraged by our attempts to pray when they feel empty or useless. You might say, I try to pray, but I don't know what to say, or I feel like nothing is happening. And sometimes this can make us stop trying to pray. We get to the end of a time of prayer or spending time in the chapel, and we feel like it was a failure, like nothing was accomplished, that nothing really happened. But this is also not true. When you and I go to pray, we should start by saying, Lord, I offer you this time as a gift. Whatever you want to do with it, I give it to you. And that is an incredible gift, to freely give 10 or 30 or 60 minutes of your time without expecting or needing anything in return, even that feeling of effectiveness or worthwhileness. That itself is a profound gift. And so we can offer the Lord our treasure, our time. Third and lastly, we can offer to Jesus our talents. This past Monday, we had our Men in Black basketball game, and by a remarkable Christmas miracle and clear divine intervention, as well as perhaps some bribing of the officials, our team won. So a highlight, though, for the game for me was right before the game, though. Father Salentano gave a short testimony, and he talked about how often in life, and maybe especially in athletics, we're tempted to use our talents only for ourselves, to make them even the basis for our identity, finding our worth and value in what we can do or accomplish. But Father Salentano encouraged and challenged everyone, rather than trying to find your worth or meaning in your talents, to discover your worth in your belonging to God. And he pointed out how this then frees us to use our gifts and to share them. And this can make us a better person, a better athlete, but also allow us to share those gifts with those around us. In our basketball game, our team benefited from some players who really were talented, had some great gifts in basketball, and they were generous enough to share their gifts on behalf of the team. And the result was a really fun and inspiring event, even regardless of the final score. And it reminded me of a quote from Mother Teresa. She says, "Do something beautiful for God." Each of us has gifts and talents, and the world often tries to tell us that we should spend them only on ourselves to try and get ahead or to succeed. But instead, offer your talents to Jesus. Do something beautiful for God. Again, the sky is the limit here. We can be very creative with how we do this. But how can we do something beautiful for God? So treasure, time, talent, these are ways we can offer gifts to Jesus, just as the Magi did today. And in doing so, we can draw close to him. We can build that relationship with the Lord who wants to have a relationship with us. In his letter to the Corinthians, St. Paul says, "Name something you possess that you have not received." His point is that if you really think about it, literally everything in your life has been given to you. Life itself was given to you. You didn't earn being born. And everything else that you and I have came as a result of that gift. Even the things that we do technically earn, our money, promotion, respect, those come from using our time and our talents, and both of those things were given to us first. If God is the author of life, then our lives, our very lives, are gifts from him. And so he's given us quite a lot. And therefore the question remains, what will you give God in return?